prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join us in prayer. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, as we come to you tonight, we thank you for the many blessings you continue to give us. We're prayerful and mindful tonight, dear God, for the many families who have lost loved ones across so many of our states, for the devastation that's been inflicted upon our country with weather. We pray, dear God, for the leaders of this community. We pray for the leaders of our country and our state. We ask now, dear God, that you'll be with each of us and we'll conduct ourselves properly tonight as we represent the voters and citizens here in Middleton. All these things we ask you for and thank you for in your Son's holy name. Amen.
Amen.
I'll have a seat. All right. Show on the roll. Got the minutes of 2/18/25 meeting. Everybody had a chance to read over those.
I will make a motion that we approve the minutes as written.
Motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Who seconded that?
Brandon. The ayes have it. All right, next, is our bills paid for the month of February the 25th. Anybody got any questions or on our bills that are paid? I like it.
I will make a motion that we approve our bills that have been paid.
I got a motion
I'll second.
and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. All right. Next, we have, Mr. Carl Gibson.
Yeah, first off,
First off, you have the floor, sir.
well, let me tell y'all, when you talk about bills, and I got a bill I think y'all all have to pay. I've paid it already, but, you look at this thing and what it amounts to is, a year ago, my water bill started going up. We started looking for leak. They came out, we checked the meter, looked like toilet leak or something like that. Anyway, did all that in the house and started still looking, and up in the summer, expecting to find a damp spot. Nowhere in the line could you find a damp spot, anywhere. And we kept looking for that thing, and finally, a couple of weeks ago, there was a contractor he was in New Albany, came down and he started probing, and you can see where he probed it, and this is the second time I've had a leak at that same spot. And it happened to have pulled it, the old one, in two, where we patched it before. And I paid for that then, and I think the city reimbursed me for the sewage side of it. And that was probably 2 or 3 years ago, I don't know how long ago. The
When you
first
had the
time we
leak
had it.
last? Well, that would have been last January, I think it was.
Was it?
January, yeah, when we had that cold snap last year.
No, that's when it started. That's when this one started.
Oh, okay, so, you
I've
had.
been paying exorbitant water bills and sewer bills for a year. Well, in the last bill, what was 300 and something for the last bill.
So,
So I've been paying over $100 a month all year for water and looking for a leak and having people out there looking. This guy probed, and you can see on the drive where the leak out there, there's a deal he used to probe it with, and you can see where it was. And he found it exactly the same place the first one was a few years ago. And
Was our people the
so
one?
when did, you knew it was broke before and it was fixed? Not this last year, because we know we couldn't find it.
No, it may have been before I had a stroke because it was broke. It may have been 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't when they put the main in originally?
Huh?
It wasn't when they put the force main in originally?
It was after they put the force main in.
Okay. I was thinking when we talked the other day, they had hit it when they put the force
No,
main
they
in
didn't hit
originally?
it.
Okay,
It hadn't been done, there was hit.
okay,
As a matter of fact, it was broke. It was broke because of pressure. You can see where my driveway was cut there.
mm-hmm,
I gave the city an easement to run, and the city has an easement to run, the sewer line goes through, and there's a manhole on Jimmy's side, there's a manhole on the other side. There.
So the sewer
And-
runs,
Yeah, right
It runs
across.
behind
It runs
our
from the
house.
ditch next to Terry,
Uh-huh.
it runs from there straight across to, I guess, the Pouch House.
The first time it broke, we got it dug up and the PVC was just bowed. And it broke in there and we pieced it back together and I tried to get it where it wouldn't give again. Anyway, we done it back. Well, this time, water was coming up
Yeah,
at that time. This time when it broke,
it wasn't no sign
water
of no
came
leak.
up at all. Even when it was dry back in the summer, there was no sign of a leak whatsoever.
Yeah,
This guy took that little probe and he said he hit a hard spot and he jabbed it down in there and when he come up, said water shot up. So then I had the boy to dig that down and he dug it exactly the same place. And in the same place that it was broke before in the splice, it had literally pulled that apart and that PVC was bowed down. I had him to go back and put that PIX in there this time rather. I told him, I said, we either gonna put something across there because it keeps settling down, the dirt in there. And that easement keeps settling down and broke that line.
yeah,
And that's the second time it's been broke like that. And I've been out, like I said, I've been paying a high water bill all year,
yeah.
trying to find it. And
Now, has it been fixed, Carl, this time?
it's fixed this time.
What'd they do different?
They run
Yeah,
that
the same-
hex tubing.
They
Yeah.
did the same thing they did last time, except this
You
time,
had them run
Flexible,
flexible?
yeah.
a flexible,
Small, yeah.
Yeah.
instead of PVC, they used across that section. Yeah, I had him put that flexible in there. As a matter of fact, the guy had come down and he was gonna give me an estimate on running that all the way down the driveway, a whole new line down the
Yeah.
driveway. And he's the one that found it. Like I said, that is the section that I gave the city to run the, cut it, and that's
Yeah.
what caused the problem all this time.
Yeah. Do you remember who done, you said, that done the actual work? Cause I know the city don't run it, foot force main down, you said
Robert-
Stegall was the
Robert
engineer.
Stegall was the engineer on that job.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, every one of those manholes, I understand, are too small. And there's a manhole right behind her house that needs raising awful bad. I'm sure water stood over that manhole for, during this last bad rain.
Yeah,
Bad. It don't too often get over the manhole below that, right below there. But then there's another manhole out behind and it don't get over it either.
yeah,
But that one right behind her house, I'm sure the water stood on that and poured down in that, thing considerably. That water you see in that, little, there's some water in here you see down here, but that water is not
yeah,
coming from that.
I got you.
That's comes in that cover from all that water that comes across. And it, when it's heavy, well, it gets over that,
Can I
manhole
show my
cover.
ignorance?
You sure?
Okay. Maybe Mr. Stegall needs to come and, does he guarantee his work?
No.
Is that an ignorant question?
Now, once they're finished and we okay it, they get their last check, they're done. They move on. But I know we can adjust your water, but you probably don't want us to do it this month. You probably wanna wait till next month.
I need adjustments on it, and like I say, I don't think I ought to have, I've paid that $500 to
Yeah.
be done, but I don't think it
I don't
should be
think
my
it-
expense.
Yeah. So would do you remember who fixed it the first time?
I don't remember whether there's me and Marion Pulse that fixed it the first time or not, but I believe it may have been myself and Marion Pulse that fixed it the first time.
Yeah. Do you remember, you don't remember, I can get Terry to look back, she said she couldn't remember if we reimbursed you for the repairs the last time.
No.
We did not? Just a water adjustment?
Just reimburse me for the sewer part.
Okay.
And
You wanna, you wanna wait till next month and we can do it all at one time?
Well, the usage that's on your bill that you just paid was 34,734, and next month's is 46,000.
Yeah, you
556.
see what it is,
We wanna wait, cause we don't, we can only do one adjustment a year.
but
And we not
You
count,
want the big one.
not counting your invoice you got there, we can discuss however y'all wanna handle it. But we'll definitely adjust your water. But if we adjust it right now, you've still got another high bill you're gonna have to pay, and we won't be able to adjust it again.
yeah, like I said, for a year, I've been
Yeah.
paying,
And, I don't know if we go back to see what his standard usage was, to see how much
Well,
water
and
loss.
I've got it back for 2 years.
Okay, so we can calculate what it
But
should,
it's
about
just,
what
he
it
had
should have
that
been.
leak in 2024, and then, of course, it just kept, I mean, probably around
Just kept
9,000. I
going
would
up
say an
from there.
average of 9,000 a month is what you used this whole last year.
Yeah, and it's just him and Peggy, ain't it?
Hmm.
It's just you and Peggy alone, yeah.
Yes,
I don't use that much water with all five
It
of
would
us in them.
fluctuate like
So it's
10,000, then it'd go down
4
to
to
8,
5 times
9.
what his typical bill is? then?
Yeah.
Right.
What now?
He's paying 4 to 5 times what his typical bill is in.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it's considered an excessive leak, not a catastrophic, according to our policy.
Okay.
But I mean, y'all, it's y'all's preference.
Yeah,
Well, definitely, don't you wanna wait for the bigger bill for us to adjust it, don't you?
I want y'all to give me what you can, as best you
If we
can,
do
Yeah.
this one
to
now,
cover
that's
my
another
expense, cause
Yeah.
I've already,
yeah, you've already had to pay
this
it off.
stuff has been paid,
Oh.
and I've been paying it all along.
Yeah. Well, this next bill is gonna be your highest one yet, is what we're saying. So you don't want us to adjust it at this one. You wanna wait and we'll credit you back for all the water, excessive water that you, or the sewer, however the board sees fit is what you've used.
Yeah,
But if we do it tonight,
We can't do it next month.
next month, you're stuck paying that full bill on your own that we won't be able to help you with it. You see what I'm saying?
This making sense?
yeah.
Cause we can only do this once every
I'm
12
okay.
months.
I'm
Yeah.
okay.
If you're trying, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that, and I think definitely that's.
Mhm.
To me, that helps the most. I
Right.
mean, regardless of the invoice he's got, however we see fit, or however y'all see fit to handle that. But I wouldn't wanna make an adjustment tonight on his water, because he's gonna get another couple $100 bill next month.
I agree.
That's not right, you
Yeah.
know, that he
It's
shouldn't
not
have to
putting you
pay.
off, it's trying to help you.
Right, yeah, I understand.
Okay.
He was on the board at one time.
Yeah, he could sit in this chair.
That's right.
But yeah, like I said, if that works for you, Carl, we'll see how, and however y'all wanna handle, you know, if y'all wanna pay some on his getting it repaired, cause technically it's in the sewer right away, in our easement. So, probably is because we run the sewer line there and the way they backfilled it, and, you know, how the engineers backfilled it, we can't really,
I questioned them on it when they cut
when they
it,
done
and they said they had to cut it,
it, yeah.
they couldn't bore it,
Mhm.
so they cut it, and then they backfilled it with sand. And I thought that the sand would probably do less settling than anything else.
Yeah.
But it just bows in on it.
Yeah. Alright, well, we'll wait, we'll give Terry an extra month to do her figuring on how much water you've lost
Okay.
over the last year.
Mhm.
And you're fine with that, Mr. Carl? You're
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, I think that'll help him the most, is,
Yeah,
you know,
I would agree.
but yeah, that's 10,000 gallons a month is, you know, that's a lot.
Right.
But really, there again, I said that other, it's in my field, but it's behind Terry.
Yeah,
That manhole,
it needs to be
that's
raised
sitting
up.
there is gonna have to be raised, because it is absolutely, that
Catch an
all
eye
the
now.
water come across there, and just standing on top of it.
Alright,
Well, we've talked about the ditch right across from Jimmy there, you know, they dug it out right there at the
Mhm.
corner of my lot, they dug it out, I'll say 6 or 8 months ago, and it's still holding water.
It's still holding water.
Yes, sir, it stays wet there,
Mhm.
except the driest, hottest part of the summer.
Mhm.
well, those water lines there confused me. We dug up several different water lines that weren't live, active water lines. And I couldn't understand that. They made a loop there in his front yard and didn't go to anything. And then the one that found out the one that was broke, that was the one to Jimmy's house. It wasn't even going to his house.
I know RNS was out there with us
The
that night.
initial water line,
Yes.
And my initial water line went across my field out there.
Yeah,
That's where the old meter was. And then when they put the other
the main, yeah,
main in, I went and had the meter put right at the culvert there, and Larry Wayne Cox
yeah, trenched it.
trenched it, and we put PVC all the way down through there and did it that way then.
Yeah,
And then again, I don't know exactly, when they cut the sewer line in there.
it was
I
not
don't
long
remember.
after gas.
I can tell when we got the sewer when Sharon was sick, because that's when we hooked up to it, so you're talking, 2013-ish, because that's when we had to hook up from the septic tank to it. Is
When
when- I
was
know
the
she
water, when was the water?
We got water when we moved in '88, but I don't know,
Well, not the new water line.
oh,
See, we had-
okay, yes, sir, that would have been probably about 20 years ago. 18 or 20 years ago, cause I remember that being all dug up there, and they put the fire hydrants sticking up out of the ground, probably, what, an extra foot or so. I've never seen a fire hydrant
Yeah.
doing like
Yeah,
that.
the one in Linda's.
We had
an
to-
extra high.
It, the first time it started dropping, and it seemed like to me that pipe was down lower than it used to be, but it was, you could tell how it just bowling down.
Well, in my opinion, we need to make it right, and I think that's our doings there, from what I'm gathering as far as the easement, so yes, sir. We need to make a motion then, and we wait to see what,
I say we wait till next month and then get it all in.
get it all one time.
Yeah.
Do we need a motion for that, or?
Oh, I
Terry,
don't think so.
You want this and
We'll just, I guess, table it till the next meeting, to let him
Yes, sir.
collect, get the next bill, see what the next bill's gonna be, so we can adjust it out the same.
okay.
Then we can vote on the other at the same
Yeah.
I mean,
time.
I have what his usage will be for next month, it's just up to y'all.
Yeah,
I mean, I can figure out how much it's gonna cost,
yeah,
it's just
We
up to
adjust
y'all, y'all
before
want
that
to
goes out?
adjust it for.
yeah, I mean, see why we can't, we've got the usage.
She's got the.
Yeah,
I said Terry's the boss, if she's ready, I'm ready.
Yeah, yeah, you can go ahead and adjust this for the next month, and just say for your, what is it, April due bill.
Okay.
So that way you won't have to pay that high bill.
Right.
Okay, yeah, well, that makes sense, because that way you won't even get the really high bill.
Well, I will make a motion that we adjust Carl Gibson's water bill at 211 Willow Road, through the April due bill, and we also compensate him for the cost of the repairs on the city easement.
Alright, so we don't know how much water to,
Yeah. She can,
What's
she
that?
can figure
how
it
much
out.
water do we need to, what's the total? Or the water, wastewater, or the sewer that we're writing on?
Well, I mean, he used 46,000 gallons, so I'm gonna have to go back and just, like, the last 3 months, not this last one before the leak. So that's what I'm saying, do y'all want me to go back a year and adjust it, or, I mean, cause he did have a pool, so, I mean, before that, I mean, he's gonna have higher.
But I always came to y'all,
And you ask for adjustment?
I always came to y'all when that pool, we used water on that pool.
Yeah, well, has it been adjusted in the last 12 months?
And it's not, I had it taken out
Now,
last
he had
year,
a
so.
little taken out last year, he didn't have one, I don't think.
Okay, well, yeah, well, then you won't have to worry about it then.
Yeah.
Well, how far do we wanna go back?
When did you say the leak
It was,
started?
when was that initial, when I called, back in January last year?
Right, his February bill of last year was 12,000 gallons, the month before it was 7,500.
And it's gradually started going up
Because
from
you
there.
got worse and worse, so that'd be yours.
And I've been looking
15,
for it that
14
long.
months.
14 months of adjustment then?
Just about. I have gone in the house and replaced everything in the house and had people crawl under the house and everything looking for it. Plus going up and down looking, waiting until summer there, it was wet years, you know. And they said, well, it's so wet we can't find it. And then when it got dry, I went down there and we searched it, probed, never did find it.
Technically, we can't go back beyond the
You're
fiscal
supposed to-
year.
You're supposed to, right, you're supposed to go back 3 months before
Okay,
the leak started, so, you know,
If it goes into the prior fiscal year.
I mean, that would be up to y'all.
that'd
I
be,
mean, I'll,
last year's budget was already in.
Yes, already,
in the
so
negative.
I think this fiscal year, we ought to.
We could go, what, July First, you know, we can go back to July first would probably be the farthest we could go without getting it
Legally.
legally.
Okay.
Whatever.
Because it being the last budget year, we've already submitted the audits and stuff to the state.
Whatever
that
we
would
do, the
affect-
best we can do.
Okay, I will say July of 2024 through April due bill, plus the compensate him or, repay him for the amount of the $500 for the easement repair. Was that halfway clear, Ms. Hennessy? Did I?
And that would be the-
Okay,
We're waiving the sewer fees on the excessive usage.
I think you'd have to,
Yeah.
because that's our typical policy.
Yes.
Mhm.
So anything over, what, 7,500 gallons from last July, is that right?
What do you mean?
Well, if they're going back to last July, what was
Right,
this?
I mean, I'm just gonna have to go all the way back to there and then see what, 3 months before that, what his average bill would be.
Yes, we won't have a dollar amount.
And we don't, yeah, I don't have
Just
anything
average.
to put, you know, I don't have to figure all that out.
And that's how we usually do, we have to do a dollar amount of sewer that we're credited,
Right.
instead of, you know.
Oh, well, we can wait till next month if y'all.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause
It's
it's-
gonna be
I'm
better.
really thinking to be on the dot, we need to wait until next month.
Yeah,
I'll rescind my motion, but I will be glad to make it next month, once we know what the April.
and do you wanna hold his, well, how long? So we went to do, bills are due on the 10th?
Mhm. He gets it drafted.
Okay. Well, we go ahead and do credit, you know, you wanna do bill credit, Carl?
Hmm?
You wanna credit your bill that much?
Oh, yeah, whatever you,
We want you to be happy.
Yeah.
yeah, whatever.
Well, we credit his bill $500 tonight for the cost, and then that'll cover his bill for next month till we get the adjustment made, I would think. Shouldn't be over would it be over $500?
His total bill will, but not for the water.
Okay.
I wanna do what's easiest for Terry and makes Mr. Carl happy.
It don't matter to me, I can do it however y'all want me to do it. Just tell me what to do.
Oh, you don't
And
mind
you don't
having the
mind.
money put in your checking account, is that correct?
No,
Okay.
anyway, but anyway, to make it easier, you can,
We're trying to get around you having to pay a high bill next month
yeah.
too, cause
Yeah,
if not,
I'd rather do that, if
Yeah.
there's any way possible, that automatic comes out, but, I'm
Oh.
not broke, so.
well, like I said, we can put your repair
Mhm.
as a credit,
Mhm.
and that'll cover next month's bill until we can settle the water loss. That's a total different issue, the way I see it. We're fixing a leak that we've caused, that's not a adjustment on his water.
That's right.
That's right.
Right. Cause we can only make one adjustment a month, I don't want this to be an
Per year.
adjustment. Yeah, it's a year, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want this to be an adjustment.
Right.
We will give it,
I see this as our, even though it occurred several years ago, I'm thinking it was 18 years ago when we put in that water line. Does that sound about right to
Oh,
you?
yeah, it's been a while.
Our kids were all small.
That's fast.
I will,
When you
yeah,
get
so I
into
need to
it,
make a
real
motion
fast.
for the $500 of the repair bill to be put as a credit toward Carl Gibson's account at 211 Willow Road. And we will compensate him or adjust the water bill once we have the April due amount calculated.
I'll second.
alright, any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed? Ayes have it.
And that won't be a conflict of interest for us being on that same, okay. I'll make trouble on that.
Alright. Next, we got we got a fire report.
Yes, sir. Kevin's out of town this week, so I'll read it off for him. So, for February of 2025, we had 6 total calls for the month. All of them are county calls, 2 brush fires, 1 grass fire, 2 vehicle accidents, and 1 mutual aid for a structure fire. We used a total of 8,300 gallons of water on all those calls. Just a little FYI on the fire department, we got our confirmation on our AFG grant, paper for all signed sent back. They sent us an email back saying that money will be sent to our account. So we've already ordered our 6 sets of SCBA's and our 7 sets of full turnouts and 2 thermal imagers. we will have a total of $19.44 left over at grant money.
Awesome.
That's why you spend money, that was good.
I tried to get
Spend
it.
that last $19?
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't find it. I can get some stickers for you. Also in February, all of our equipment had its yearly preventative maintenance done on it. Everything checked out, it's in good running condition. Also, we still don't have any water running into the fire station, so it sounds like we got that issue resolved. Pretty soon we'll be getting with Terry on a date that we're gonna do our yearly hydrant testing, coming up probably end of April, early May. And that's it.
I know, you got a grant going on for a fire truck currently.
CBDG.
So budget is coming up in June. Need y'all to take that into consideration because the money that is provided by the CDBG grant is not nearly enough to cover a fire truck. So think about that when you're looking it into your budget for this next fiscal year. Take that into account.
Yes, definitely. Me and Kevin will get with Hannah on the budget and make sure that's included in there.
Well,
hopefully.
yeah, like, I'm just saying, if there's anything you could trim to make room
Yeah.
for the fire truck, it would be
Exactly.
much appreciated.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Do you wanna cover the siren while you're on it?
I can.
Kind of, you know, don't really fall into the fire department, but
We can go ahead and knock it out very quick, it ain't gonna take long. So, just to touch on the tornado siren, not an issue, but I'm learning on it, so. So our tornado siren is, what I found out today, is pretty well maintained through Goddard Enterprises. They have an out called Federal Signal.
Yep.
Currently, there's a few people that's got access to it. Evan, myself, operating under Evan, Arnez, and who's the other one?
Kevin,
Kevin, no, Kevin's not in it. Carrie. Right.
and then there's the base station at the police barn,
And
that
there's
can
a
be set
base.
off manually.
Right, so there's two ways it can be set off, either by out or by base station at the police department. So I talked to Evan today and called this Andy Goddard with Goddard Enterprises, who is the person we had the previous, I guess, I don't know if it'd be called an account or.
Maintenance plan, or
Maintenance
he
plan.
he installed the siren.
He installed the sirens, okay. So I reached out to him today and spoke with him. I mean, we got storm season right here on us. I know Saturday morning, Friday night was kind of a hairy night and day for us. And I asked him to come out here and provide us with a quote for preventative maintenance on the sirens, both of them. And the quote he sent me back here, and I can give y'all all, let y'all look at it. Terry printed me out a copy of it. We're looking at a total of $3,384.96. That's for the preventative maintenance and the battery replacements on them. The batteries, the best I could tell, were last replaced in 2020. So they're 4 years old. He told me they're probably, the average lifespan on this battery he's got listed here is 2 years.
Yeah.
We're out of date.
So we're out of date on them. Preventative maintenance got a whole list of things that he does here and comes and checks out and replaces if needed, fixes if needed. Currently, dispatch does not have the ability to set our siren off. That was checked by Kerry Markham, Director of Dispatch. He called me Friday at 11:30. I was at work and I went out and she tried to send the tones to the siren and it would not set it off. So there's an issue with the tones and the codes that they have to send that message to it to say, hey, turn on. And that can easily be fixed when he comes, to give them back access to be able to set it off. But he will have to come down here and check everything out in order to make that happen. So currently, right now, the way it sits, the only way that siren's gonna be turned on in the event of a warning is.
Yeah, if one of us sets it off manually.
Right. Which can be done by now. but-
Yeah.
Or go up to the police
Yeah,
station
right.
and do it there. So I would recommend him coming and doing a maintenance on it and, see if the batteries do need to be replaced. They might not need to be replaced.
Yeah, they're deep cycle batteries.
They're deep cycle batteries. I mean, depending on, they got a charger on them, that's trickle charger. So they might still be holding a good charge. They might not need a battery replacement, but he went ahead and quoted it
With the battery replacement.
with the battery replacement.
I know we replaced them once since we had them installed, but I don't know exactly when that was. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea. This is, annual,
Mm-hmm. So annual.
and then of course, next year, hopefully inflation don't catch it, and it'll be less,
Right.
because it's not a battery replacement also.
So right now, he's got it quoted out for just the preventative maintenance at $11.50 per siren for preventative maintenance, so which comes to $2,300. The batteries is $135 a piece at 8 batteries, so each siren's has got 4 batteries on
Yeah,
it.
it's gonna be boxes right below
Yeah.
it.
So like Evan says, next year, the preventative maintenance, if we have to replace the batteries this year, you won't do the batteries, but every 2 to 3 years, or, I mean, it might last 4 years.
I feel like we need to do that. I think that's something we gotta provide. It would be sad if something happened and we didn't have one.
Yeah,
Will that charge there, will that get him to hook up dispatch where they can?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, if he says he can come down here and check the codes and programming on it and get with Carrie and get her set up where they can set it off.
Cause they get stuff from FEMA and weather.
Yeah, TEMA and all.
And they'll know more than we will, sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
That's what Ben and Brandon got to talk about. so,
Yeah. I mean, I've set siren off from Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, when you have the app, you can set it off anywhere, but it's a matter of,
do you know what's going on?
do you know what's going on, are you
Any
awake?
motion
And-
for that, or is that just something?
No, it's under 4,000, I mean, it's,
I say let's go for it.
Did he say anything about an annual invoice coming up or anything? Cause that's what I found
So
out
that's
today.
another thing, so when he was last messing with this, with us, he said he was, communicating with Jimmy the best he could. And he sent an invoice, but he sent it to Jimmy's email. And I'm assuming that that's all
Well,
dead.
it's due in April.
Yes.
I found
Now, he's not gonna cut us
out
off. He
Okay.
pays the bill, because he gets billed from somewhere else, I think Federal Signal or something bills him. He pays it and then he collects from us. That's how he does all the cities that he services. He actually said Middleton was one of the first ones he ever installed.
yeah.
We are his first account, but he just has lost contact with us, and I think it was because Jimmy was here, and then Jimmy left, and that was his
Right.
Contact.
email contact he was trying to get in touch with, and he hasn't been able to. So, yes, we do have a bill that is due. And I don't know what that bill is, he's on vacation today. When I talk to him, he'll be back Monday, in office, and then he can get that invoice sent to us. I gave him my email address today so he can send this to me, but we need to get him y'all's
Yeah.
email address so he knows,
Where to send the
you
bill.
know, whether it's a city manager or whoever, you know, he can get it sent to there and it can be paid. But he's not gonna cut us off, so he said, I'm not gonna do that, he said, y'all good, so.
When I started research, I was like, Lord, we got a bill that's coming up, but I was trying to find, so I did find.
I don't-
It goes out in April. He
Yeah.
does have it on
How
the
much
last
was
year.
it? How much was it?
It's 1,000 something, I've got it on my desk.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I just wanted,
Is it 12? Okay.
but that was just keep it operating.
Yeah, that's just
the
annual fee.
Yeah.
Annual fee
Okay, I got
for them,
Yeah.
coming, you
We're
know.
not-
The licensing in the app, and
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, any questions on that? All right, next, is it on fire report?
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, thank you, and, next, we got the police department.
Good evening. I'm covering the police monthly activity report for February 25. Complaints activity 421 on the adult arrest. We got 1 on the sheet, but it's 3 total. If you drop down to the DUI arrest, it's 2 of those, so 3 total. And 1 mental assist. No juvenile arrest, drug involved, arrests 2, traffic citations issued 5, traffic warnings 12, motorist assist 3, vehicle lockouts 5, other public assist 10, crash reports, accident reports 3, alarm calls 5, city assist, county assist 11. All 4 of the vehicles are up and running. And on the numbers, they will have to be updated. We had city court, Hannah was out, and so they had an update on Monday's court date. On the, last meeting, we had a question about the LESO equipment. The update, we have 2 pieces of equipment at Fergie's auction. The dump truck, the forklift. The forklift, I got a call this week that it's dropped off, it's closed, so it's ready for sale. The dump truck, we're waiting on the, registration paperwork to come from federal LESO program. So she told me it could take a week, it could take 2 weeks. But as soon as we do have a June auction there, so hopefully I'll be able to get it in before then.
So when they get the registration sent to you, it's available to sell then as well?
It becomes ours at that point.
Okay.
They close LESO out on that piece of equipment, and then we can do whatever we want with it, because we've met the requirements of keeping it over a year, so,
But both pieces of equipment are currently at Fergie's, and
yes.
I'm assuming both of them were wanting to
Yeah.
get rid of?
Yes.
We're just waiting on registration for a dump truck and
Then it can go to, yeah.
then hopefully be available for the June.
Hopefully, now the forklift, it can go.
It's ready to
It's
go
ready,
now.
it's ready to go right now, so.
And that's also the same auction that you're planning to put the Crown Vics in.
Yes, yes. And if you, I know this is, from last May of 2024, and May the 20th, in the minutes of that meeting, we were approved to purchase 2 patrol units for $35,000. Right before I went out, we had already ran the ad in the paper, and when it came time to make a purchase, I wasn't here. So, I just wanted the board to consider. I reran the ad. March the 13th was the last day for accepting bids. So we're ready to move forward with that, just so y'all know. And if there's any objections to that, we need to know before we do anything. And that's everything. We had a successful food drive in February, and we had some home games there at the high school that we successfully got through. But everything else, we just rolling along.
Thank you.
Alright, so on the back of police report, looks like we got a paper there with surplus equipment. The Crown Vic sitting up at the fire department have, from what we can tell, have never been surplus.
If they have,
If we could find, so we would like to surplus these again. I guess we'll have to do them individually and name them out, I guess by the VIN, or at least the last 4 on the VIN, that way. So I've looked to a motion to surplus a 2006 Crown Vic, VIN ending in 8150.
So moved.
Motion and a second, any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Next, look for motion to surplus a 2007 Ford Crown Vic, VIN, the last 4 ending in 9045.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Next, I would look for a motion to surplus a 2009 Ford Crown Vic, last 4 ending in 8456.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Alright, next we got the, utility report. Unless anybody got any questions for the chief?
So you're good on moving forward with, looking for vehicles.
Yes.
As long as they fit the descriptions that we got in the paper. And for the two, like I said, I guess last year, the board approved 35,000.
Yes, sir.
The vehicles are a little bit more expensive now,
So we may have to look at an amendment.
possibly. I mean, if you wanted to increase it now, would be a good time, because the way we go through these Chicago motor cars that has them already outfitted, they're not around. They hit the website, they might be there 2 or 3 days and they're gone. So it's something we've gotta act on pretty quick if we find something that worth their time. And that's where we got the 2 Tahoes from, they delivered them to our door. I really like the way they do business. It was easy, but yeah, that's up to y'all. We were looking before, what we had were 12 to 14,000. Now they're 14 to 16 or 15 to 18. They're a little higher. I mean, so we might could swing
Do we need to?
2 for 17,
I believe Kevin made that motion, if I remember right, last year at 35, we thought that would be enough, but I don't have a problem amending it to go
I
higher.
was gonna say, I think
I
it's.
think we need.
What do you think, Chief?
Have you looked at?
I'm constantly.
Okay, that's what I was getting at.
The Tahoes now, what we got for 16 or any 19 to 20. So
Is 40 gonna be enough, or do we need to go higher than that, Chief?
I would request 42. We're at 35. That gives us a little wiggle room. So,
I would make a motion to amend the cost to 42,000 for the procurement of 2.
Police
Right.
police vehicles,
Yeah.
fully outfitted police vehicles.
Exactly what
I got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. All right, next is the utility report.
Okay, in the month of February, in the water, Scotty took his distribution class again for a week. And then, TKE, we had electrical issues on the 18th, and it was out of service till, I think it was March the 4th. But it's up and running good. In the sewer, they had 2 problems at lift stations. On the 13th, the 2 pumps at Willow went out, so they have been replaced. And then at the lagoon, there were repairs. The number of sewer line repairs was 2 at the fire station and Sandy Lifford's. And then gas, we had 1 complaint. And then on 220, when, I guess, see, I didn't even know this, the people that service and do all of our gas stuff, they could see what's going on. So they saw that we didn't have enough pressure. So they called Scotty. Scotty met them out of Kinder Morgan, but it ended up, it was on Kinder Morgan. So we got some free gas for a while, but it was their issue. It wasn't ours. So anyway, but that's been fixed. It was just low pressure. And then we had 8 811 locations.
Water loss is a whole lot better this month.
Yeah. 1%. That's what I'm saying, when months, because we're reading usage back, but people are paying for this usage here, it
Yeah.
fluctuates.
Right.
Back and forth from the months.
All right, any questions on the utility report? All right, next we got the scout hut. I don't know, did you have it put in there? Brandon?
So I did, just as, to catch me up.
All
I
right,
guess,
so,
what we
it's
got.
falling in, we kinda deemed it,
And we cut the insurance on it last year,
yes,
didn't
and, spraying of the pest control, it's falling in. So we need to run ads for, I guess, for
Demo.
bids, for demo,
Mhm.
to let them, they can demo it, have them carry the materials has gotta leave here.
Right.
It's all got, they can't start it, not finish
Yeah,
it,
can't tear it down, leave a pile there,
Oh.
it's gotta go.
so if
we?
you
I
know,
thought I had somebody last month, but it didn't work out because the person here said he didn't want to work that hard.
if y'all are okay with it, we'll run bids and,
I think, I know this is the second time, if not the third, that I've been on the board, we've talked about getting rid of it. I think whatever we need to do, if it's a match or whatever, it needs to be gone.
Yeah,
I think it's beginning to be a liability.
Oh, I
With
think it
people
was,
walking by.
I think we talked about, since Miss Ann and Sharon have been on, but I know we talked about once before that, I think we definitely need to get rid of it. And I understand the nostalgia and
I do
the
too.
camaraderie or whatever that was established there, but I mean, it's an eyesore, it needs to be gone. Just because, and I got in trouble, I'm not saying this before, just because something is old doesn't make it historic, and it needs to be gone.
You talking about me and you, Carl?
No! Yeah, but it needs to be gone.
Yeah, we had it taped off there where it started falling in, and,
Yeah.
you know, 'cause a lot of balls got dropped in the last few years.
Now, a lot of people, several people have contacted me, wanted something out of it.
Yeah.
But when I tell them, hey, we'll talk about it, if you tear it down, you gotta clean it up, they don't seem to want to do that.
No,
No.
They don't do the work.
Yeah, it's just
they were gonna
amazing.
pull the good out of it and leave the mess for us to clean up.
Yeah, I just don't understand. So if this doesn't work, control burn,
What's on the roof?
What's it, shingles on the roof?
Is it shingles?
Yeah, it's
I'm pretty
shingles.
sure it's shingles, yeah.
If it's shingles,
I did a lot of
we gotta
work out
remove
there.
the shingles off of it before we can burn it. But we can control burn it.
Yeah.
I mean, if they'll come get it, somebody else do it, I love that idea.
Yeah, we've
It'll be
been
hard,
hard to do
it'll
that.
be hard to get
We-
somebody to come.
Is that probably in the liability on that? I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
kinda wondering, I don't know, if somebody's out there tearing it down, they get hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah, they gotta have insurance. I mean, that's,
They
They would have to have
one in.
insurance.
yeah, they gotta have insurance, liability insurance.
Mm.
Yeah,
I know what my opinion is. I say burn it, but I'm gonna be,
lightning did it one time.
but I just, to me, that eliminates a lot of the.
All right, well, we'll move forward, we're running an ad in the paper, see about the demolition, you know, take bids on the demolition. Next is, public comment period for matters germane, items on the agenda.
I have two things. The ball field, we got a text, group text, 5-6 weeks ago, asking about that. We have $1,000 allotted for that. Was that mentioned to them? I know we met with them back
At the
here in
community
Pocono.
center.
We had a meeting, community center.
I've not heard anything else since about it.
The only, and I ain't trying to interrupt
No, you're
you,
good.
but, I got with, Terry and, Sam and Scotty, they went out there and filled the pothole in with, the patching at the gate. We did that for them and we roped off the hole.
There was
Where
a
the-
serious hole there, I thought was dangerous.
Right, and I got Sam to go out there and put up 4 fence posts and tape, caution tape around it, and he, wow, and he.
Yeah.
He taped
it,
He taped it. Great job for Sam, he went above and beyond on that tape job.
That pile of rubbish there, is that something
So Terry Mills cut that and he cleaned it up.
that, okay, wasn't cleaned up yesterday?
Oh,
What I'm talking about, we saw it yesterday.
what rubbish are you talking about?
This is when you pull into the parking lot and you're facing right field fence, it's gonna be on the outside of the fence, there's just a pile of
Yeah,
rubbish
pile of rubbish.
between the fence that is now falling, into the parking lot there and that building, it's got plywood over every window or whatever. Tire, yeah, I mean, and they've got
The
an
press
old.
box there.
No,
This is
talking about
outside.
First come in,
Oh,
outside of
okay.
right field fence, which is.
You know, the
I think
building,
that's-
out of the parking lot.
Okay, yeah.
There's a pile of rubbish there, definitely an eyesore from somebody coming from another school and
Yeah.
saying that.
But see, that was a concession stand, that building was,
That one-
before that one was built.
Many years, right.
Yeah.
And then there's also, where there's that plastic culvert there, which, and it's got some kind of torn up tarp or something
It was
on
what they
it.
used to tarp the field originally,
Right.
you know, when I was in high school.
Yeah, back when Drew and all y'all played, I remember that, but that's just why I was wondering, I understand they want us to do more for it, but our deal was before, we told them, you got $1,000. I don't see us being out that amount of expense. They have 2 sponsors signs on the outfield fence. I think somebody from school could sell sponsor aid, that would eliminate all that cost. We were in Ripley today, and that fence is covered, which I realize Ripley's a lot bigger city.
Yeah, well, look at the softball field at the school,
Right, right.
you know.
And I mean, it can be done. I don't think that monkey needs to be on our back.
I got them $500 in sponsor money sent to them. That's one thing I've done to help them. I didn't send it myself, I had somebody
Right.
that wanted to
We
be a
got
sponsor.
$1,000 in the budget that they've never touched that I'm aware of, because that's
Yeah.
what we talked about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was the outcome, we got $1,000 and they never used it.
We don't know why.
So the money's still
Well,
Yes, it
I
was.
think that was more for the Little League field. They
Okay,
were wanting to start up, but I don't think they ever started anything.
Right.
Well, it was
For
for
their
ball,
children.
for the park,
Yeah.
it was for the park, period.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would think they've got access to that if they want it.
Is that annual or just one time?
That was one time, but they never used it.
Yeah, but it's in the annual budget.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, we got $1,000 for that. I hate to see us be out all of that money paying electric bill or whatever, and they reap the income. I'm not trying to get into a, separation of what we do as far as the school, but I can't see that as our responsibility myself.
I mean, we never heard anything else about it.
Nope.
No, it kinda went
It
south.
just-
yeah.
Well, it went silent to us, but they're still telling people that are showing up for games, the reason it looks so bad is because the city won't do anything about it.
But now Terry Mills was there, I was there, Terry Mills was there, do y'all not remember seeing Terry Mills? I'm gonna say it one more time.
That's the meeting that I referred to when.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
And
COVID
second-
community center.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. And what about as far as updates on the park? Where are we with that?
We are ready to start. It's just getting the manpower to line it up. I mean, that's kind of what the city administrator, the new position we were looking to hire, that was one of their first roles. It's got till the end of the year to be completed. It won't take, I don't think it's gonna be a whole lot. The biggest part will be the concrete bridges, the bathroom, and,
We have things for them put up.
the parking stops in the parking lot, the lines, the striping, I know, we talked about getting with Monroe Willis, or not Monroe, I'm sorry, Roger Willis. I got the family of Monroe Willis on the line right here. But I don't think with him being out, I don't think we've had a chance to get with him.
Well, I know I had someone contact me who said he had spoken with a couple of different individuals on the board about that position, and I just basically said, it's recommended by the ones who've been on the interview.
Yeah.
I told him that I had not been on the interview, but I had no problem accepting that if it was recommended, but I didn't know if that's something he would be doing or what in regard to that.
We had two candidates that we did double interviews, so they made it to the second interview. One of those bowed out this week, or this end of last week, so we're only left with one. I know it wasn't on the agenda, but if that's something we wanna go over tonight, we can.
Okay, right here.
We need to.
Well, I had, one contacted me and wanted us to meet, and I didn't want to break any sunshine law and meet with a restaurant, so I said I would go whatever committee, but I also didn't want to be left in the dark on that as far as who, and even who had conducted the interviews or anything like that. I wasn't aware or privy to that, so I didn't.
Me and Ann had the first second round interviews with 4 people.
Yeah, we sure did.
Narrowed that down to
was very
2.
good.
Then Brandon Slick, we've had a second interview with both and thought it went really well. And then we got to the time to try to figure out to make an offer, make it to that stage. And that's kind of where one back out. I was trying to see how serious they were. And they decided they respectfully declined
And that was conducted when?
the
and what
opportunity.
time?
Let's see, the interviews
Yes.
was Monday before last.
One of them was right.
For the second one.
Yeah, one of them got COVID.
Yeah, we were trying to do them both the same day. One got COVID, we had to wait another week. And so it was 2, was it?
I was just caught kind of unawares because the individual was telling me about all these interviews. I said, I didn't know there were interviews being conducted, so I ended up looking like a buffoon. I think they both did. And he said, well, I've sat in with other council members, and I was like, well, I didn't know anything about that,
Yeah.
so.
I think when we discussed it, you said that you were okay, and the both of you guys here said, well, we need to learn something,
But
remember?
we
y'all-
also didn't have any projection of who and when, if I remember
Okay.
correctly.
Yeah, no.
Right? And so I was totally caught unaware, so I just wanted to throw that out there as far as items germane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I felt like if we were that far along, we should have probably had somebody say, hey, we've talked to everybody else on board except for y'all.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that probably wasn't conducted properly.
okay.
All right, so the one candidate we got left is, David Kinley.
Which is who contacted me.
And he has contacted all of us a lot.
He's been very energetic.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's very passionate about Middleton. He wants to be local. He feels like he can do a lot of good things for the city. He has a pretty good education, but he don't really have a lot of experience in water and wastewater operation. We really haven't really talked a lot on salaries. That was kind of the one thing that would hang us up there is, what is this worth? To be somebody running the city without any previous experience operating a water sewer plant or gas system, and that's kind of where we was torn. Like I said, he interviewed really well, and I wasn't really thinking we were this far along until one backed out, and I was going to bring two options kind of to the board, and now I've got one.
That was the plan was
Yeah.
Here's where we're at with both of them,
Yeah.
and where do we which direction do we wanna go?
Correct. And I said, if I can get her resume, I've got the resume if you wanna look over.
No, I know him.
Yeah.
I have no problem with it. I just didn't know as far as qualifications.
Yeah,
His
I mean,
resume looks really good.
yeah.
I mean, I've
No
known him
detail.
for all 10 years. so-
Estimating, contract estimating, project management are all of quality skills that he possesses. The only thing was, like I said, he was familiar with sewer plants and sewer lagoons and systems. He said he'd done a lot on that in college, but it's been a long time. If that's something y'all wanna try to move forward with tonight, I mean, I've got the time.
We've been going a long time.
We have been, and I'm catching the brunt of it. And these two, and them two.
Right, I would think if we could install somebody and move forward with this park, because again, aesthetically, that is an eyesore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that question gets brought up a lot.
Yeah.
And then great myrtles get brought up every day.
About how they wanna keep them.
No, how they wanna get rid of that eyesore.
Well, I've got more of the other end on the crepe myrtles
I
myself.
ain't got anything on keeping them in their dead. I mean, how they gonna keep them in their dead?
But,
I like my great nerves.
I couldn't find out.
but I feel like if y'all wanna move forward with David Kinley, I'm trying not to shoot ourselves in the foot with the pay, but I feel like a good starting place would be about 25 an hour. Then with as far as the other benefits with the health, and it'd be all the same, be hourly, would not be salary like we were before. And would not be able to be on call until they were certified. I mean, I still want them out there, but they wouldn't be able to show up alone and do any really maintenance or work outside of maybe, fixing a water leak, but.
He would be there supporting and learning.
Yes.
For sure.
For the first, like I said, you gotta work in water a year before you're allowed to take tests and stuff on it, so that first year, there's a lot of other stuff he could be doing. Like I said, I think he deals with people pretty well, and that's something you gotta be able to do. You gotta have thick skin.
Well, my words to him were, if the people who had interviewed him were satisfied with him, that I personally was. I mean, I said, I've known him since he was preschooler,
Yeah.
but I just felt like I was caught totally in the dark.
Okay. I'm sorry about that.
Well, and I agree with what Ann said, I did say that, but by the same
We
token,
didn't
I
go.
thought I would be informed and was not. And when you have a candidate call you and say, hey, blah, 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 and I'm sitting there going, boo, I mean, I look pretty goofy, to be honest. So,
Yeah, because at that time, I mean, we really weren't, I thought we would not even talk about who it was that we were.
I had not heard his
Okay.
name until then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Until he called me, I had not heard his
Yeah,
name.
but, like I said, that would be my recommendation, as far as, we'd have to list his duties, for sure. Exactly what we expect, and that's been a hard spot in the past, as far as getting it actually down on paper. We've got some generic job descriptions right now. What will the title be? What will their daily task, or what is their curriculum, I guess you could say in school terms. But, what would their day-to-day look like? What would they be over? And, which of course they would answer to us. And it's, I guess, you know, whatever we wanna make it, or y'all wanna make it.
I would like to get this over as soon as possible. I'm really tired of waiting on this job forever.
Yeah.
Cops coming too.
I'm the same
okay?
way, I
We
mean,
don't have many people out there.
we don't have a lot of people out there that applied for it, and not everyone that applied for it has any kind of experience with water, wastewater, and gas, but, I'm ready to get it over with.
Yeah.
Even on that 12-hour course I went through, you know, they talked on there, and Terry already mentioned it about how old the people were.
Yeah.
Doing water.
12 hours, I did 18 hours, we done it.
Yeah, the average water operators are 65 to 80 years old.
Yeah.
They're not making any more, seems like. But, I mean, he seems very confident. I mean, I'm confident in him that he could pass the test. It's still, you know, it just comes with learning and understanding how it works and how important it is that we provide good water and sewer treatment. But, I guess I would look for a motion.
Move forward with it.
And, I need to know in that motion, job title and rate of pay. Is that right? We gotta do all that in one motion?
So,
We never discussed money with him,
No.
but did we? Okay,
So this will be a formal offer.
yeah,
He may turn us down.
I say, I'll go along with what y'all say, because like I said, I know him, but I have not been in any of the discussion with him, so I would just simply vote for it and make a motion or second.
Yeah. Well, I knew y'all, we done them early, and y'all were still at school or shortly thereafter.
Right.
Cause that's kinda the way I took it, the way Ann said, you know, is you're okay with what we
Definitely,
decide.
but I also
But,
feel
yeah,
like we
wanted
should
to be in the
be
loop.
made, I have no
At least
problem,
know
you're gonna
who's
meet with
doing
somebody
it.
at 3 o'clock, we can't be here,
Yeah.
but I do think a telephone call or a text, since we send text for
Yeah.
basically everything
Yeah.
else under the
Yeah.
sun, we could have addressed that.
Yeah.
I felt like that was lacking professionalism, if you will.
so did you make a move
Well,
that we make
gotta-
him an offer?
What,
make a motion to make David Kinley an offer.
And his job title was going to be,
Call it city manager
you know what
or
we've been telling
administrator.
people? Is it administrator or?
Well, we had a manager before, the administrator was Tony was manager.
Tony was, no, he was
He was administrator? It was Jerry that was the manager, right? Yeah. Yeah, we can call it city administrator.
Make a job offer to David Kinley for the job title of city administrator. And an offer of $25 an hour.
It's a motion.
Do we need to list all the other?
The duties, we can come up with job descriptions as we go, we don't, not really as we go, but we need to, we'll have to have a special call meeting to actually hire him, if he accepts the offer.
Yeah.
So then we can,
Talk about all the details.
yes, write down formal job description.
Okay, I'll second.
We got a motion and a second?
Okay,
Is it-
we're on TV and David may see this, you might make a phone call tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was sort of thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I was
It's
wondering
not
if we needed
typically
to.
posted the same night, though.
no.
Okay.
Is there any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. And also, I have a thank you card from the family of Monroe Willis. So thank you so much for your thoughtfulness following Monroe's passing. We appreciate it so very much. Sincerely, Tanya Willis, from the family of Monroe Willis. And, we also, I guess we'll have to appoint someone in the near future to the planning commission.
Is that what he was on, or the industrial board?
He was on the planning commission. Ain't that right, Carl?
Huh?
Wasn't Monroe on the planning
Yes, he
commission?
was.
Does that board recommend, or is that something y'all?
We have in the past at times, but I don't have anybody in mind right now. And Vern hasn't said anything. Vern's our chairman, I'm secretary.
Alright, so that's not something we take, you know, I know a lot of stuff y'all recommend.
How about somebody younger? Roger?
Oh, anybody.
Well, they gotta live in the city limits.
It's gotta
Always
be
gotta
the
live, but there that goes. Okay.
All right, well, everybody's
city.
got the,
We need to be looking, thinking about somebody in the city for it.
everybody's got the revenue and expense report. I would look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I got a motion. Second. And a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Y'all have a wonderful week.
Have a job description.
And remainder of
for it.
March is
It's all
flying
over.
ahead.
Well,
I've been trying
this is
to.
the earliest possible